Angella Katatumba in a nutshell. My father was His Excellency Professor Boni Katatumba, the proprietor of Katatumba Properties. And my mother, Gertrude Katatumba, she's the proprietor of AFK Beauty Clinic in Kabalagala. I have 7 brothers. One unfortunately passed away, called Colin. And then the eldest, Alan, is a pilot. He's now flying with the UNDP. He's just a star. And then Dennis is in Canada. I have an older sister called Rosemary. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. The twins, myself and Rujira Katatumba. He's the proprietor of Katatumba Village in Kabalagala. And then there's Ken, he's in Canada. Ian, he's a businessman in Uganda. And Jay, who just graduated from Harvard University, and he lives in the UK with his family. Actually, all of us were born in Nairobi, except Alan. And we went to the Katatumba Academy for primary, and then we went to Canada for high school, and then I with my twin, went to Oxford Brookes University, where I did my law degree, my economics degree, and my master's degree in international management. And then at the end of my master's degree, I met an African-American gentleman. We dated, he proposed, we got married, and then we moved to Chicago. And then the marriage didn't work out, and then I came back to Uganda, and that's when I started pursuing my music career. So that's me in a nutshell. Besides music, I run my father's businesses. Me and my brothers run my father's properties. We have Hotel Diplomat. We have a 200-acre island, Katatumba Island, that's in Banda on Kalangala on Lake Victoria. We're always looking for investors. And we have a number of properties in Mbarara and in the UK, in the US, and Canada. And then also the court cases that I'm running. My father unfortunately had a very public enemy called Shumuk, an Indian, who basically is trying to take my father's properties. So we won the court case in High Court, and Justice Peter Henry Odonyo ordered Shumuk to put back the titles of Hotel Diplomat, the island, and Katatumba Suites that he had fraudulently put in his names, back into Katatumba's names. And he ordered him to pay us. Every year it comes up to, as of last year, it came up to $13 million with 24% interest. So it keeps going up. So that's the only reason he's at Katatumba Suites, so that he can pay us back the balance of $2 million that he didn't pay for the building that was worth $5 million that he bought from my dad. He only paid $3 million and refused to pay $2. So that $2 million has accumulated to, as of last year, $13 million, as of this year, $14 million. So he's supposed to pay that back to us, but he hasn't. Instead, he's appealed. So those are the court cases. And instead of, on top of appealing, he's been opening the same case in a million different courts in Uganda, and I keep beating him every weekend, and he keeps opening a new one every weekend. So it's unfortunate that we have people like those who completely abuse the court process. But anyway, those are my battles, and that's what I do in a nutshell, apart from music. So I just pray that we win the court cases and everything can go back to normal, and we get our inherited properties. I balance fame and business. I try to. It's not easy, but my parents taught us to be organized, to be efficient, and to prioritize. When you have your priorities straight, things become easy. My priorities are the businesses and obviously the court cases. And so every month I prioritize my calendar, and I know what's important. If we have any court cases, those come first, then the businesses, and that's where I generate the income to pay for the music. So as long as I'm organized, things become easy, and music for me is mainly an investment. So that is how I manage to balance the music and the businesses. Fame, believe it or not, can be a double-edged sword. Luckily, my father, he was extremely famous, and he was like, kids, get ready. Because of me, Everybody's going to write about you for any reason, just the fact that you're my kid. So be prepared and embrace it. But fame has helped big time, because my parents taught us to have integrity, and that they taught us that having a name is much more important than money. And that has come true, because, like, for example, in COVID, things were upside down. There was no money in circulation. It was just a crisis. Things were closed. But I had renovations. I had to renovate the Hotel Diplomat. We have 25 rooms. I've renovated 12. But there was a time I was stuck and there was no money. But my dad always said that if you have a good name and you have integrity, and people know that, especially with my dad, if they said, Bonnie Katatumba has asked, he'll definitely pay, So he always taught us to have a good name, be good people, and have integrity. And that came through, because when I was in the middle of renovating, I had no money, but people are like, if Angela wants credit, no problem. And whoever I went to, and even better, because of the name being famous, it was so much easier. They're like, is it Katatumba's daughter? Katatumba, no problem. What does she need? And they would bring hundreds of millions of supplies, but they would know that I would pay. And of course, which I always do pay. So that's where fame has helped me. And it's not just about being famous just to be famous. You have to be famous with a good name. You have to be famous with integrity, because you can also be famous for being wrong, So that's the balance that my dad taught us. Be people of integrity and use your name right. So for me, it has helped big time. Music itself is a business, I assure you. It is not easy. It is, for me, it has proven to be a constant investment. And you have to keep investing and pray that your song does well and people love your song, and that song puts you on demand, and that demand creates money, because people start hiring you for things and you get that money back. So it's a continuous source of investment. It's not easy for these artists, to even separate the investments and say, okay, for this time let's put some money towards this. So I don't blame the artists for focusing solely on the investment, because it truly is consuming, and I can only advise that they can try to, but honestly, from my experience, it's not easy to have music on one side and then invest in business on another side, because the music alone is a business investment. I'm in business whether I like it or not because of my parents. I had to be in business, and that's the priority for me, and that's my primary source of income. So music to me is secondary, and that's why I treat it secondary. So it's kind of hard to advise artists, because for me, I was just lucky and I was just blessed to have all these things, and then that's where the money easily comes from, the businesses to music. So with artists, maybe I could say to them to try hard to maybe try to come up with a small business and have an income generating project, because what's most important in life is that daily income. No matter how small, the fact that you can rely on an income every day, not prey on someone to like your song, or prey on a hit, or prey on, you need to have that guaranteed daily income. So have that little business on the side, and then make that your primary source of income, and then have the business of music be a secondary source of income. That's the advice that I would give. Feeling like giving up is a part of life. But of course, my parents always taught us never, ever, ever to quit, never to give up. And what my source of inspiration has always been God. When you turn to God and you do your best. My motto is do your best and let God do the rest. So as long as you learn to do your best, and not your best being 90% or 92% or 99%, let your best be 100%. And then you sit back and wait for the miracles. And best meaning be prepared, so that in case that miraculous phone call comes in, you're prepared. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people say, I've done my best. Are they prepared? They have A, B, C, D, nothing. So I like the fact that Jesus has always been one of the people that God has guided us, that my parents have guided me to be patient, to love God, to take it easy, and life is not yours. My dad used to say, life is not yours. So just do your part and wait. And it might not be your timing. So a lot of times you do so much and things are not moving in business and music. You're like, what more do I do? So for other, I know a lot of artists, they turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol, they literally give up, So I want to encourage them the way my parents encouraged and keep encouraging me, is to just always do your best and just wait for the Lord to come in. So when you have God, you learn patience and you learn to be prayerful and to give your burdens to Him. So that is the most comforting feeling in the world. And sure enough, miracles come flooding when you learn to do things that way. Oh my God, I am the queen of failing and falling and getting up. And for me, it's just been my dad. Actually, that I credit my father, because he was the most positive person in the world. Positivity is everything. Actually, failure, let me start from the fact that when my papa passed, he always taught us to be positive. Even in the worst case, think of the positive. It's hard, but think. So I remember when my papa passed, I'm like, Jesus, now which positive really? In such a situation, my life, my everything. And not just me, my brothers were going through the same thing, and my mom, But I was forced to think of his words, because I know Papa would say he hated crying, he hated the self-pity, and he hated negativity. Those are the things my dad hated. So I'm like, the man has passed now, I can't do the things he hates. What does he want? He loves positivity. He wants you to be happy, he wants you to be grateful, and he wants you to be prayerful, and he loved Jesus. So those are the things I turned to. And when I started thinking of the positives, I started realizing how blessed I am. I said, who am I that my father passes and we have all these properties, income generating companies, you have the name, you have the fame, and everybody is coming to bury your father. Everybody is contributing so many millions and millions, and we got over 100 million in donations. Oh my God, Katatumba, we are sorry. Who are you? Others die, nothing happens, there's nobody there, they have nothing, the families are fighting, everything's upside down. So when you learn to think of the positives, you realize that you are swimming in a sea of positivity. And that's what got me and my family through that horrible situation of my papa's passing. So that's what gets me through life. When I go through a downtime, for example, all these horrible scandals, the whole chicken tonight and all that, I'm like, it was an excited night. The worst happened. I've not killed a person. I'm alive. I could have died. When you start to think of the positives, you're like, who am I that you get beaten and the whole country, not even, it becomes a national and international affair. People are beaten every day and nobody cares. Even the rats in the corner in their house don't even care. Women are being beaten morning, noon and night. You know what I'm saying? But an incident comes, you're beaten, and it becomes a whole international. It was Canada, the US, the UK, Uganda, paper. It was madness. Angela's been beaten. So even that is a positive. Why you? People are beaten every day. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw the positive in that, and I saw all these journalists coming to the hotel in swarms, coming to sit and ask me what happened. I was like, and they were shocked for me to arrive, and I'm like, I'm here, yes, what do you want to know? They're like, hey, you mean you can even talk to us? I'm like, why not? Who am I that and this horrible thing can happen, and you're all here to give me the attention? So when you learn to be positive in life, the best advice I got from my father, to be positive, everything becomes simple, everything becomes easy, and believe it or not, that simple positive mentality turns the worst situations into the most amazing situations. So that's how I've turned the negatives and gotten on top, by being positive, thanks to my father's advice. My best advice would be especially to ladies, my parents brought me up to be an independent girl, to focus on money. Money is everything. Money is power, money is respect, money is value. You know what I'm saying? And for the longest, it's only men who have been in those positions, because they're the ones collecting the money. The women sit back and someone neglect the man. But not knowing as he's collecting the money, he's having all the power, he's having all the respect, he's having all the value. You know what I'm saying? So, and you are there just to go there and cook and clean, and if you're sing and go back home and cook and clean. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear that women are becoming independent and are beginning to value themselves and are beginning to respect themselves and are beginning to also get part of the pie and go out there and hustle, not just do music, but also juggle music with business and have the confidence to enter business, that is the most beautiful thing to hear, because that shows that women are beginning to develop. You know, women have come from far. We've come from where women were not allowed to vote. Women are not allowed to do every C, D, E, F, G. Women are not allowed to breathe. But we've come from so far. So when you hear that artists and women artists are not just singing, but also managing their businesses and going to also do business and juggle business with me, why not? You know what I'm saying? That is the most beautiful thing, and that is what I would encourage them to do. So for me, I'm pro that. I'm all about business, and the only way you can be successful in business is if you enter business 100%. Not to say, let the men do this, or let the girl, or me as a lady, I can't manage that. No. What the guy can do, if he's going to court, go to court. If he's doing this, go there. If there's $1 million deal being discussed, be part of it, you know, and negotiate your percentage. That's how I was raised. So I would love for women to start seeing themselves more than just simply a calito here, do a little thing and then go back to be a housewife or go back to be, you know, simple. Let them come out here and also, you know, challenge the men. Let's make money together. And when we make money together, we are less frustrated, because I'm not depending on you solely as a man and frustrating you, and I'm also not boring you as a woman who's depending on you 100%. So it keeps it exciting and it keeps it encouraging. So I'm happy when I hear that. Wow, the difficulties are time. The difficulties are time. And this is where I thank God. 2020, I'm doing extremely well because I met a manager called Ocean, who introduced me to Black Market Records, who are the record label company that I'm signed with right now. It's the best thing that's happened to me, because the biggest challenge for business and music for me is time, and also resources, because I have to put money where money comes from. That's always the priority. And then music, for now, it hasn't reached the extent, especially in Uganda, I have not reached the extent where it's paying back, and you know what I'm saying, where you're getting all these $1 million deals. We've not reached there, so it's not coming back yet. It's still an investment. So it's so difficult for me to focus on the music when the money is here and the diplomat is there and conferences are there and you know, and all the bills and the taxes and everything is due, and the salaries and the employees, and not just for the hotel but for all the properties. That's where the focus is. So I thank God that Ocean, my manager, and Black Market, every week, almost every day, they call saying, this week, Angie, you have to do something for music. So for me, that's the force I needed to do better in music. Because before, I'll do a song once every 3 years and I'm like, bye, and I go back to business, because that's where the money is. But now with Ocean and Black Market Records, they're like, Angie, this week, what are you doing? We need you in the studio. We've booked you in studio sessions. You need to be here. You need to be this producer. You need to be this producer. You need to release 3 songs at least this week, or you need to like have pictures. So they push me to focus on music. So that's how I've managed to create the balance. But for sure, the bigger percentage, 85% is business, 15% is music. But my prayer is to make it 30% music and 70% business. You know, that's the prayer. But right now, you guys see it as being successful in both, but it's really a struggle. It's such a struggle, because music is an investment. It's literally where I'm throwing my money, you know. So I'm trying to get that percentage higher, and I'm trying to have an equal balance, but honestly, it's been extremely difficult. In business, to be successful, you need to have a strong team. But in business, to be a leader of that team has not been easy. You know, to be tough, and you're hiring, you're firing, you're trying to get everybody to focus and envision what you're envisioning, and you want the place to be magnificent, and you have all these jokers. So it's not been easy as a leader. But the minute you get a good team, it's brilliant. So the business-wise, it's okay. Music is where I'm in heaven, because like I talked about, I was so grateful to work with Ocean Media International, who introduced me to Black Market Records. Now they are a magnificent team, because before I used to put 1%, if not 2% effort in music. I would do one song every 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And really, there's nothing you're doing in music. That's like literally a drop in the ocean, you know. But now, at least I could say that 85% is business, and they helped me so much, and they've lifted that 2% to 25 to 15% now. So at least now I have 15% in music, and that's thanks to them, because they keep pushing me. They keep saying, Angela, we have to have something this week. You have to do a song, or you have to go to the studio, or we booked studio sessions for you. So the pressure is a lot on the music end, and that so far has brought my percentage up to 15%. I thank God for that, but the prayer is to have it up to 30%. So when you have a good team, like I do now with Black Market Records, that's why you're seeing my force in the industry. And it's not even where it needs to be, you know. I'm still on a baby level, but that shows you how awesome it is when you have a good team. Things become simple, things become doable, and things become amazing. And my dad always used to say, it's so much better to work with others than to work alone. So I just thank God for Black Market Records, yeah. Obviously, as a leader, you have to make the hard choices. You know, when it comes to business, there's no jokes, and that's just what it is. You cannot be successful as you are joking in business. So of course, when the team doesn't work up to par, or they're not up to par, you have to let them go, which is always difficult, but you have to. And so it's the hiring and the firing process, which is not easy. And then also looking, and then you keep hiring, and then looking for the right people is also not easy, because then you hire, then a worse one even comes. So that whole process is not easy, but you must do it. And a lot of people end up relaxing, saying, you know what, better the devil, you know, let us just do this one, because by the time we hire the right one. And sometimes as a leader, you have to say, no, let me cut my losses now. I don't care how long it will take me to get the right person, but instead of staying with this mediocre, lukewarm person, I would rather get the right person. So sometimes those are the business challenges and decisions that just have to be taken. So my advice, most importantly, I always say, because, you know, as a businesswoman, I'm always selling a product. And right now, I have dropped my Only Jesus video that's doing so well. It's got 100,000 likes in 1 week. For me, that is huge. So I want my fans to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, to listen to all my latest videos, listen to Only Jesus. You'll absolutely love that. To the other fans, especially the ladies and the guys, to love God, to fear God, to be patient, to be kind. It is so important to be kind to people, to be good to people, to be a blessing to others. If you've been blessed like I have, my parents taught me to make sure that my job is to bless others with my blessings. So it is so important for people to be good to one another, support each other, be positive. You've heard from my story how powerful positivity has been for me, even through my worst times, and just to be encouraging. So there's a lot of negativity. I've noticed that a lot of Ugandans are extremely negative. Maybe they're disgruntled or they're hurt, but that doesn't help, you know, adding fuel to fire by being negative. Even in the worst situations, be positive and just thank God. So for me, that's the best advice I would give to the girls. I would say don't rush to crash, because a lot of people want to be Angela by the day before yesterday. They want to be famous, and, you know, we want to be rich now. But life is a struggle. You have to do your part, put in the work, hustle, you know, don't be lazy, because I hustle and I'm extremely hardworking. That's one thing people don't know. You know, they think much as I got things for free, yes, I inherited things, but I have to work so hard to maintain them and make them better. So girls, get up, work hard, hustle, and just be good people and love God. That's the best advice I can give. And subscribe to my YouTube channel and love Only Jesus.